We're here live at Fraud Fight Club Round 3. I'm joined by Denise Schott, who works at Regions Bank. Denise, can you tell us a little bit about your work and role in fraud fighting?
I currently manage the fraud operations team, which consists of customer claims and the fraud detection groups, as well as the new account screening.
You have a long history working in banking and fraud, including 30 years at JPM. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience and what your takeaway from that was?
Sure. So I fell into the role. I started in customer service right when credit cards were booming. I would say what I learned the most was to be very adaptable and don't be afraid to change roles. Change roles about every 5 to 6 years to keep your mind fresh, to
Love
give
that.
someone else an opportunity to look at your processes and then give yourself a chance to learn something new.
And what is one of the biggest shifts you've seen in banking or fraud over the past 4 decades?
The biggest shift is probably at first in fraud, it was all about just blocking the accounts, saving money, don't lose money for the bank. And it really turned into balancing risk and customer experience. You have to be very mindful when you impact good customers and make sure that you can quickly make changes to make sure you're balancing that.
And what's one thing that your team is really focused on right now?
Customer experience, but we're also focused on trying to protect customers from sending fraudulent payments. I think the fraudsters have figured out it's easier to trick a customer into sending a fraudulent payment versus account takeover. So just talking to them, trying to understand how they receive the payment information and making sure that they didn't fall victim to a BEC, business email compromise.
What about your most frustrating fraudster or fraud scheme?
Customer claim abuse is very frustrating because a lot of times our hands are tied with the regulations for certain types of claims, and you can clearly see that it is customer claims abuse.
Do you have a strong fraud belief or a fraud fact that you can share with our audience?
I don't think check fraud will ever go away. It's certainly slowed down with the CARES Act and all of the COVID fraudulent activity that was happening, but it turned around and came right back. And I think check fraud is always going to be around. It is running around 2 or 3 times higher than it was pre-2021. So I would just say we always have to keep an eye on check fraud.
Denise, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.